All right, to kick this off, I see a lot of new names in the chat. So, for everyone who is here for the first time, we are Product Space. We have different types of courses that help people who are one product managers or professionals as well. If you want to upskill in either AI or product management, we are a place for you. We have been here for quite some time, and we keep doing session like these as well for the open audience because we love connecting with so many of you, and we have a very good and I would say very interactive community as well on WhatsApp. So with that, we do get a lot of requests in terms of what a lot of you want to learn, where you feel the need that, okay, this is something that I need to know about, right? So with that, this is another session wherein we will be talking about AI. Specifically, what are the new tools and trends that are out there? This will be a good hands-on session as well. So just to give you a brief of how this session would go. So in the beginning, we will tell you and talk to you about different types of trends that are there. We'll also touch upon MCP. We will then move forward to giving you a hands-on on building AI agents as well. So if you've not built any AI agents before, this is your chance to just get your hands dirty and at least understand how you can build agents, right? And towards the end, you will also build something related to MCP, right? So you'll have an hands on MCP as well, which is very new, very buzzing as well. So if you want to be relevant in AI, you have to be very quick to understand what's going on in the market, right? So without taking any further time, I will hand over to Arun. Arun is one of the mentors here who has joined us to give you a great and insightful session on the latest AI trends, tools, and we'll also talk about MCPs in detail, right? Arun, over to you if you're here.
Hello, hi Sakshi. Good morning.
Hey, Arun. Yes, I can see you well. I'll just hand over the audience to you. I think we're already at 11:10 mark. Folks, it is going to be filled with a lot of insights. So do stay on till the end. If you've joined now, ensure you stay on till the end. Otherwise, joining here does not make sense, right? Because if you want to spend time, spend your 1.5 hour, 2 hours with us today. And I can promise you it will be worth it and you'll take a lot of learning back from this session, right? Arun, over to you. You can kick things off from your end.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sakshi. And thank you all. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Um, I think we have been doing this for quite some time now. It's been almost 1.5, 2 years where we have established our leadership with AI and what's happening around AI. It's also kind of unfortunate uh, in the number of layoffs that we are seeing and the impacts that we are seeing on jobs. So we see a lot of folks reaching out to us uh, in quick upskilling that they can have, and that is where we, at least at Product Space, try to do our best to keep having these sessions once in a while, so that we can give you free access to what's the latest or greatest that PMs, entrepreneurs, designers, people who are in their college apply in their portfolio, in their work experience to be the next job ready. Today's session also will try to do the same. I, with Akhil, who's a great friend, will try to deliver the best we can in terms of what's the latest or the most impactful things that are happening. I'll quickly start sharing my screen. Will Space of AI. If you have seen since 2019, I think we got active around 2023, but we have done some good mile coverage in terms of what has been happening. And when all of this became a rage in 2018-19, it was probably just the start of GPT coming out, DALI coming out, people just experimenting with these chat assistants, building something of their own. 2020 was kind of the year when people realized it was not just asking keywords or queries to these GPTs, but it was more so around writing the right prompts. How do you write the right prompts? What is the framework that you need to follow? We have done quite a lot of sessions on that. So if you have not um, seen that, please go to the YouTube channel. I think there are enough recordings available there. And also, when we help you create the agents, we uh, teach you how to write the optimal prompts to get the best out of your agent. So that is also covered in some of the YouTube series. We'll not be able to cover that today. I'll give you an example of what we have done in the class, or what we do in the cohort, at least to give you an understanding of how we are starting off. And then this is like the building blocks, right? So first, knowing what your tools are. Second, writing the right prompts. 2022 2023 was around multimodality, where models which could do coding, image generation, video generation, audio generation. How do you work with those sort of encoders, decoders together? How do you use agentic frameworks to do quick prototyping? Where do you go and draw the line between a developer and a PM and a entrepreneur? And how can you ship out things quicker than what was happening in 2016 2017? How can you be more productive as a PM? How can you take time back? Probably 60-70% of your redundant tasks, how can they be automated? Last year majorly it was all around agentic AI. 2023 just launched co-pilots. Couple of companies like Nvidia, Microsoft started talking about it, but last year is when all these companies got into the race of agent and agentic AI, and that became a thing. And we have been doing, I think we have done now more than 10 workshops where we are helping people there build their first agents. And we have seen fantastic traction or confidence from our community when they post on LinkedIn. So thank you so much in showing our workflows that we have been doing. And of course, a lot of um, doubt comes from that thought that, hey, all of this, do I need to pay, or do I need to get a subscription of an OpenAI, or do I need to put in my credit card? So we have been doing that for you. We have been taking the cost side of thing, and we are trying to bring out the learning and give to you all the trainings that we have done in our free sessions that we'll be doing today as well. Will be free of cost. But of course, once you are into the cohort, or once you want to professionally learn it, then we share this roadmap with you, right? Where you have to probably invest something to get the enterprise grade learning of it, but that again becomes the part of your cohort learning itself. Finally, in 2025, where we are today, there has been a lot of talk about MCP, which is Model Context Protocols, A to A, agentic to agentic interaction protocols, and the ideal or the ulterior product development is going to a place where we just give the instructions as prompts to these agentic workflows, and they are able to kind of do everything on their own. Like, I don't need to even give iterative prompts. They can access the tools, and they can access um, what they need to do, right? uh, we have done the workshops for first four of them, like agents, multimodality tools, mastering prompts, and using your GPTs at a very high level. So we'll not be able to spend a lot of time on those today. Of course, in the cohort that we have for 6 weeks learning, each of them is given in depth. But for today, the focus is more around MCP and how do you get to MCP doing all of this, right? So we'll try to focus on that. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see there are um, workshops done on this co-star framework of advanced prompting, which is context, objective, style, tone. How do you write good prompts? And then we have explained you, when do you use GPT, when do you use DeepSeek, when do you use Perplexity, what is the advantage of one against the other. Um, we help you create agents using NA10. We help you um, come out and build tools, prototypes which are self-sufficient. Just to give you an example of how things have landed so far, right? I'll just walk you through one by one, and let me come out of the presentation mode. Let me know if you are able to see my Claude screen, right? Are you able to see my Claude screen?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, so this is what we started off with in 2023 when we started doing our AI cohort, and when we kind of launched saying that, hey, if you are a entrepreneur, or if you are someone who's looking to get your role as a business developer, or a designer, or a PM who's just trying to do market research, where do you go and how do you write a good prompt, right? And this is one standard example of that. I, as a product manager, I'm trying to solve. I'm a Netflix product manager, and I'm trying to solve this problem of hosting watch parties, right? Can you give me measurable impact of what it means if I don't do it. How can I convince my business that this is the right idea to go and chase? We gave this prompt, we ran it in this. Let me, in fact, copy this link so that all of you can um, watch it on your own. I'll put it in the chat as well. I'm just putting this in the chat for anyone to access this. But so the maturity of these models today, if you see, initially they were giving textual outputs, something like this format, right? And you had to do your own aesthetics and presentability on top of that. Today, where we are, uh, they are able to give you numbers like this. What is the revenue loss? What is the subscription churn? What is the user engagement loss? What is the social feature gap? What is the potential market loss? And then what are the other competitors or third party apps which are leveraging this? How are they growing against it, right? And how do people generally go away from your platform to use platforms like Rave or Screener to get this done, right? What is the user behavior impact? What are the users saying? And which other competitors is doing this? And then it gives you the citation and sources also, because we have given that as a part of our advanced prompt, where we have told that, hey, I need reference for everything that you are quoting, and I also need you to cross reference yourself against uh, probably a DeepSeek or a Claude. So this prompting exercise. I'm just giving you an example. Think of the time and effort that it will take you to build something like this and present it to your leadership. Right now, if you, in today's world, if you are using Perplexity or Claude, you'll be able to do this so easily. And I know, at least from a community aspect, a lot of you are associated with us, at least for these free sessions. You might not have enrolled in the code, but you come and watch this. So see what we were doing in 2023. Now if you go back and look at that video, I am myself amazed seeing this output format that Claude is able to generate today. So the progress of just prompting these LLM models and getting output of them has insanely increased, right? So that was the first piece where we started off, which was just how do you interact with these prompts. Then I think in the initial parts of 2021, we started teaching you with OpenAI and Gemini Playground. I'm just switching to the OpenAI ground now. And this was exactly the agent that we built, which was built your own personalized interview bot agent, right? And this was the prompt that we helped you uh, um create this agent. We taught you how do you define these parameters like temperature, top P. I'm not again going into this because you can find all of this into your workshop recording from YouTube. But what I wanted to show you with this playground was, at least people who have been associated with the community and those of you who follow us, there is a lot of improvements that have come into these playgrounds and dashboards of these products itself, right? So one of them is you can compare two models against each other, and you can see variant of one question that we always used to get was, hey, I have these 10 models, 4 from Gemini, 2 from Llama, 3 from OpenAI, 1 from Hugging Face. I don't know which one to use, right? So comparing your models, making your decisions has been empowered here. Again, there is something also known as evals, which they have launched, where you can evaluate the effectiveness of your models. Let me share that. If you get into this again, right, usage limit. Usage limits. product design question. And I'll be happy to practice with design as much as. Let me just try to give it a sample. So now if you look at this, I've just started a thread. I have not, of course, completed my thread with this. But if I just go to my dashboard, right, and if I see evaluations, right, this starts giving you evaluations that can improve your model. This is the equivalent of test cases that we used to have, or unit test cases that we had in the SaaS world. We have done a dedicated session on evals as well. I am explaining you these today because these are probably the latest features that you yourself have not used in GPT from the last workshop that we did. Similarly, fine tuning is out of box provided now in the playground itself. So this is exactly what we did in the second phase, probably uh, start of 2024. This is what we were doing. We did a lot of sessions on agentic prototyping, right? And look at, we did a workshop where Bolt was not able to create interactive user experiences. Yesterday I had a session where we designed something for um, Shazam equivalent of Spotify. So you cannot discover songs in Spotify by just tuning the music to it, right? So we thought, hey, can we create this feature as a PM? I will just give it a prompt, and if I show you my Claude, right, I'll just show you that conversation. So this is the prompt that we gave, that as a product manager at Spotify, I want you to solve the below problem. I want I don't remember the song exactly. I can just remember some part of it or the music. I want you to listen to that as a audio and tell me which song is it, right? And if you see the prototype that was created with this, it has not only made it interactive, it has also taken care of everything which it might need, including permissions of voice. I'll in fact play that in front of you just to show you the power of what it is. I'll probably pick one random song. Just give me a minute. Okay. So, yeah. Let's start. I'll just click start voice search. So it will say tap on the start recording and it will start listening to your laptop. And this is just a prototype that it has created, right? Let me just click this. So it has listened to the song and it has given me a prototype which tells what is the match percentage. Of course, these are hard coded values. It is not fetching real time values. It has just picked 5 random songs. But see the level of maturity or where we are today in terms of prototyping itself. Right, I'll show you another prototype, and these are the tools where we have done enough demos and enough workshops in the past. Maybe you have lost track of it, maybe you're not using them. That's why we just wanted to give you a quick refresher of what are all the things that we have done. So when we did bold.new, we also showed you lovable. In lovable, sorry, I have a bad throat, but in lovable, if you go and look at the development that is happening today, this is a prototype that we created a week back. We are trying to create an undo feature on Gmail, and same, we gave the prompts on Claude. We asked Claude to give us advanced prompt that we can use in Lovable. This was the prototype that it was able to create. If I just create a compose email, and this is a feature which will undo um, the message that I'm sending. So let me just say xyz.com and then sample email to undo send. I'll click send and it says your message has been sent. If you want, you have 10, 7, 6, 5. I'll just click on undo and it's not sent, right? So this is as sleek as this. And I can also, let me in fact put this in the entire presentation. If I click on this settings button, it is also giving me a setting. How much time do you want to have before you do undo? 5 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then your confirmation message as well, right? So these tools are also getting powerful. If you have not seen, Lovable has now started giving you options of choosing which model do you want to use for free. Do you want to go for Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, right? And then there is of course paid credit as well. This is the latest one which came out in their release last week. So as promised, we try to bring you the latest and the greatest, right? Then of course, I think Akhil has been doing this brilliantly over the last 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks, almost 2 months now, where we are helping you build your agents. One of the agents that got us a lot of traction on LinkedIn and people really liked it was Stock Analyzer. And this agent, we helped you step by step with multiple sessions to build, right? And this is, if I just run it, let me just give a name of the stock, maybe Microsoft itself, right? Microsoft. If I run this, if you see the agent running, and this was again, you can go to our YouTube channel, you can look at what we have done here, and then if I go and see my email, um, it has your stock advice for Microsoft, and what is it saying that you can, there is a hold that it is recommending for the stock, right? So this agent also, if you want to add it to your portfolio, if you want to learn how do you build your agents, how do you get started, we have done a great number of workshops on this as well. So to give you an overlay or the idea of this, right, let's just walk through what and all I told you in the last 15 minutes or so. We have taught you how to write advanced prompts to do research, to make your life easier, do customer research, do surveys. We have given you almost 40 tools over the last 1 year, which can assist you become more productive, right? We have helped you create your own assistants. Now we want you to go and explore evals and fine tuning of those agents. If you have created those assistants with us, we have helped you with bold.new, lovable, dev.vo, cursor to create your prototypes, and we have given you agents. Now building on the same lines, um, something which is a rage or a talking point in today's market landscape is MCP, and a lot of you would have heard that, right? There is this LinkedIn post that's going viral, or there is uh, Gaga all over it from Nikhil Kamath, where they are saying, "Hey, zero the." I'll just probably show that to you. So he came out and he said that Zerodha is the first, and quite fantastically. I really acknowledge the pace with Indian companies are keeping up with MCP. Right? They came out and they said that, see, there are AI tools, right, and you can use Kite or Zerodha's integration with an MCP server of Zerodha. What exactly did it mean, or what was all the rage about? And as you can see, it saw a lot of enthusiasm for AI people. But what was the problem, or what is that they were promising to solve, right? And that is what the idea of covering today's classes, and then we'll have a dedicated session for also to ourselves to build the MCP server, right? If I just go to the Zerodha, this is their article blog post. I will paste it in the chat because I know some of you are really enthusiastic about MCP and are using probably Zerodha. You would want to try this because it's such a powerful thing, and I would love all of you to try. So I'll just paste this in the chat and then I'll walk you through what exactly it is trying to solve, right? So chat here. Okay, so again, if I look at what I do today on my Zerodha or on my any trading account, be it Grow, Ind Money, right? Whenever we invest, whenever we park our money, we have to go to multiple apps. At least if you are someone who's an intraday trader or who looks at stocks and mutual funds moving throughout the day, you will probably open your app or open your website multiple times, look at how that performance is happening, take a stab of your potential earnings and growth, and then reconcile it against multiple apps, right? You might have a trading platform where you are looking at the trades, you like Zerodha. You might have another screener which you have applied. You might have another terminal which you are just looking at charts and all of that. Can not all of this happen in a single LLM based powered AI agent? Uh, that is what Zerodha has solved by exposing its MCP server to all these platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. What they've said is, hey, we are exposing our end user data with their permission on their local machine, keeping a check of their privacy and security. So you cannot run this on the browser. You have to install the desktop version of the app. Like I have the desktop version of Claude here, right? And if I go and look at the new chat, right, you can see here in the tools I have given access to the kite. Now within kite, if I see, it has all the data that it can get from kite, like cancel order, delete order, get order, put order, what is the position, what is the profile, what are the trades that are placed, what is the profit, what is the loss. Let me just try to ask it something very basic. Can you tell me the stocks that I am holding in my portfolio? Now you can do this as well. You can go ahead and type it in your terminal, but because you have not approved or you have not for now signed up to the MCP server, it will say that I don't have that information. You will probably need to give it a rag, again something that we teach as part of the cohort. Or how do you pass a file? You will need to download from Zerodha, upload that file here, and then give that information. Since I have attached this to the MCP server of Zerodha, right? It will start checking your stock holding. It is, if you see this, it is running the get holdings of Zerodha's MCP server, right? It is saying log into Kite, give the session ID, right? Once you log in, so every time when you start a session, it will ask you to go and log in this, right? And it will ask you to start your account. I'll show you this which I did yesterday. Same thing. Once I had logged in, because we are sharing the screen, or let me do this. I'll stop sharing. I'll quickly log in and then we'll continue with this one. Let me just stop sharing once. Quickly just log into this. Okay, I'll start sharing again. So if you see, it has shared login successful mcp.kite.trade. Right now, if I go back to my MCP server in this, I'll say okay, login complete. Can you try now? And we have cleaned the portfolio. We are using a dummy account just for the sake of it, so it will give you very small number of holdings. So we have three stocks, two are decent, one is bad, which is Idea, of course, right? And if you see this, it has given you that you are holding Idea, you are holding State Bank of India, you are holding Wipro. And let me ask, give me a visual analysis of how the Idea stock is doing. So it is allow, and whenever it is trying to hit a new service of Zerodha, it will ask you, so you can give it permission. It is searching. Okay, it has hit maximum length. Start a new conversation. Let's start a new one. in my portfolio of stocks. Give me visual analysis of ITest. I can see you have one idea share, right? Let me get to the current market data and historical price of this data. So what you were doing initially with multiple screens, multiple screeners, or Bloomberg terminal, or probably also charting tools, you can do all of that in this single layout, right? And I'll show you the analysis report that it creates. This is the visual analysis report that I had asked it. So yeah. So this is the portfolio dashboard that it has created. Total value, total invested, total PNL returns, what is equity, what is gold bonds, what is mutual funds, how is the equity holding, how is the stock performing, each of them, should I hold, should I let it go, right? And this, all of this is possible just because, and in the nearer future we'll see a lot of other MCP servers. Almost all organization in India, at least couple of them including Zerodha, have launched their MCP servers, and all the other organizations, be it Swiggy, be it Uber, be it Make My Trip, they will all soon have their own MCP servers. And what are MCP servers? MCP servers basically are endpoints with which you can use your Claude, Perplexity, GPT to interact with all these tools rather than opening their apps independently. So you might be using a Claude to do your office work. Within that, you can order Swiggy food also. How is that happening? That is what MCP is. Claude or Anthropic organization came out with this concept of uh, what is, I'll share this link if you want to read more. What is MCP server? How does it work? This is the original research paper. Let me paste this in the chat. Right. Now, very simply, if there is one line definition, and that is the definition that Anthropic also uses, I love using this. MCP is the Type C port for anything that an AI application needs. What is Type C port? All of us have seen, we had Type B, we had USB type, we had multiple types. Gradually, all organizations across the world have moved to a single connector type, which is Type C. Right now, be it your headphones, be it your power cords, be it your laptops, be it your mobile phones, all of them are having Type C port only. Today, when we have these AI applications, be it Claude, Perplexity, GPT, DeepSeek, if they need to connect to your tools like your Google Drive or your Excel or your Telegram, what we also taught you in creating these N8 agents, right? And we do teach like 5 or 6 agents in one cohort. What we were teaching till now was you connect your Gemini model, you connect your memory, and you connect your email. All of them will have different authentication mechanisms. Those of you who have been part of our cohort and been community, you have seen we were giving credentials separately. MCP solves all of that for you. MCP gives you a standard definition, and that standard definition allows you to connect to all the different tools. So if you think the hosts are ChatGPT, Claude, Cursor, whichever, MCP clients are your laptop which you are using that on. Through an MCP protocol, all these tools can be accessed, and there are multiple marketplaces where you can go and see what are the MCP servers that are there. Let's just try to see what is the MCP marketplace. And soon there will be, like we have Google Play Store, right? And Apple iStore, there'll be MCP marketplace where all the companies which are launching their MCP servers will start hosting them in a single place. There was something that Dharmesh Shah launched with agent.ai. So this was the marketplace for all the agents, where agents were being launched, and agents, you could come and use your agents directly here. Now what we have is awesome MCP server. So if you see, all these companies like GitLab have launched their MCP server. Google Drive has launched their MCP server. PostgreSQL has launched their MCP. Slack, if you want to integrate your Slack, you can just use this MCP server. You just click on view detail. You have to give your identifier token of Slack, and you can directly start using the MCP server for Slack, right? Why does it say not found? Let's see for GitHub. If you want to start using the GitHub server, You can just directly go here. See, the GitHub server for MCP is here. Ideally, what it will do is you don't need to have a different IDE, a Visual Studio Code or anything. You just go to your Claude, right? Like I have my on-screen Claude, and this will start working as my ID, and I can start accessing my Git or my Slack through that single common interface. So, on a very high level, what is MCP? It's the Type C port where all the tools or all the applications that we have today can directly connect and start accessing different AI applications. We have given you example of Zerodha today because we want you to get started with using MCP servers. Stop using mobile applications, stop sticking around always on your mobile. When even if you are using one LLM application, integrate all your tools with this MCP protocol. Once you are comfortable using MCP server, we will have a dedicated session where we will teach you how do you build your own MCP servers. If you see, NA10, I think has now started supporting MCP server trigger, right? So if I go into NA10 and if I just type MCP, see it supports MCP server trigger. I can configure my server and I can start creating my MCP server, and all the things it will be able to do on my behalf rather than me giving individual credentials and individual logins, right? But having said that, I know we have covered a lot of ground today and we don't have time to create an end-to-end server today. Akhil will of course walk you through building an agent, and then we'll build on that and how do you create an MCP server on top of that. We'll do the dedicated session, like a 1.5 hour session just on that in the coming weeks, and also we'll look forward to have an offline event with you soon where we can do more branding for AI. But I hope you got a gist of how fast things are evolving. We have given you an insight of assistants, basic prompting, building agents, now MCP, integrating your MCP agents, and of course, self-agentic prototyping, right? So keep practicing these, keep relevant, keep posting on LinkedIn, keep giving us your feedback on LinkedIn or YouTube channel so that we can know. One of the reasons of doing this MCP session was there was a lot of demand saying that, hey, can we cover something on MCP? So this is our starting point. With today's sessions, we will also share these as an after read to you. I'll again paste this in the chat where you can yourself go and start interacting with MCP server of Zerodha. Once you are comfortable, probably in a couple of weeks or time, we'll have a dedicated session where you can come back and build your own MCP servers and host them as well. So with that, I'll take a pause. Sakshi, I'll hand it over to you, and so that Akhil can take over and we can actually start building the agent as well. But I'll be happy to take any questions if there are. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Arun. So yeah, parallelly I was preparing my agent, and so folks, first I'll showcase you how this works, and then we'll be helping you understand more about our advanced AI course, and then I'll be helping you walk through in terms of how would you be able to build this agent. So let me share my screen. Okay, I'm just testing right now. So let's say, can you tell me? This is a Mindra chatbot, by the way, or it is basically accustomed to help you with any of the e-commerce related queries. So let's play with it, and let's say, can you tell me more about Uber or ride discount offers? So let's see what it does. Oh, so it recognized that, okay, it is not accustomed to help you with any other service provider queries. So now we can also ask one more thing, which is like, can you tell me my order status? Now let's see what it does. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to run in the backend. So now it's asking me to share the order ID. I'm looking for an order ID. Okay, so let's see what it does. I have to run it, test workflow. Let's see if it works or not. Okay, it's currently out for delivery. The expected delivery time is next year. That's awesome, right? We can also ask for, can you tell me more about running offers? Yeah, it's thinking. It takes a little bit of time. So it told me all about running offers, and okay, I'm not too happy with order experience. So let's see what it does to this. Oh, it didn't help because it was not trained to help you with specific query. This bot, which I have designed, and I'll be helping you build this as well. In the session, we might not do a Telegram integration, but we will definitely lay the foundation wherein we understand those. So this chatbot specifically would help you with your order status queries and anything you want to know about payment status, sorry, promotional offers. And if you want to know anything else about Myntra, then it'll redirect you to the app. And if you ask about anything else in the world, it'll say that, hey, I'm not the right person for this. Can you go to a specific service provider and ask that, right? So yeah, this is something I've built, and I'll quickly showcase to you how does it work in the backend. So let me share my screen, like the full screen. So yeah. I was operating on 2 different accounts, so you can see that this is basically a RAG-based, chatbot. So what it does is like it is, takes my message from the Telegram and process it, through ChatGPT. But before processing, it also looks through the database that I have provided. This basically, adding a RAG layer to this agentic chatbot, and if you ask anything to this chatbot, it would not revert to any specific message, which probably these 2 sheets doesn't have answers to. So I've just asked it because if in real scenario, if I'm acting as a customer support assistant, I definitely don't want to rely on open world knowledge. I would definitely want to rely on the knowledge that I have my hands on, right? So we can also look into a couple of executions and understand, okay, how this is happening, right? So executions is basically wherein you can see that, okay, how your flow works end to end, right? So let's look at what our last query was. Yeah, my last query was this. Okay, was like, okay, one more thing you would be observing, I'll let you know that in a moment. Okay, so in this specific flow, right, I have asked about running offers, right? So when I've asked about payment offers, you could see that the green signal is here. So it's not going through this sheet. It's only going through the relevant data, right? If you look into this, the latest, which was about like, I'm not happy with the experience. So if you look into this, it didn't go to any of the sheet. It just recognized, okay, none of this is a totally irrelevant query. I would probably not look into the RAG, right? And if you look into the like order status one, so give me 1 second. Loading it up. Yeah, this was also looks like a general query. Yeah, no, not order status like. So it basically didn't had enough information to go to that sheet. That is why it has asked me about the order ID, and in this flow ideally it should go to that sheet. 1 second, let me load. Yeah, now I have provided it the order ID. Okay, and now since it has all the information, now it went to this sheet and then gave me the order status. So this is how this entire chatbot is working. I'll tell you how I have built it. I'll quickly take 5 minutes of your time to explain more about our advanced day program, which is starting from like 28th of June, and then we'll spend like good quality Sunday afternoon, 30 minutes building this chatbot on our own systems. Everyone, in the meantime, I would request you to get comfortable with N8N. If you don't know anything, that's all right. We're going to do a basic product building here, agent building. All right, so just give me 1 second. Let me explain you about our advanced AI program. So you might have noticed that, okay, Arun has a lot of times mentioned that about the cohort, right? So this is the same cohort that I'm going to talk about, wherein it's created for working professionals who are non-techies, and we have that almost 8 weeks of experience, wherein different industry professionals who are building AI products in their own companies, they'll be coming and they'll be teaching. And of course, you can start building agents from scratch. It might not be too difficult to build one out of an agent, but it becomes quite technical the moment you would have to customize these agents for your company use cases, because then a lot of decisions has to be taken, like which models to use, what should be your ideal flow, how what all data you should probably give into your RAG layer, and whatever data you're giving, is it safe or not, whether your model is responsibly trained or not. Ideally, you can't ask GPT to, hey, give me a recipe to create a bomb, right? It's responsibly trained right now, so it won't give you something. But how do you handle all these nuances is something what this program teaches you. This specific session is more about getting you started. So thanks for being here. Let me just share my screen and I'll quickly explain about the cohort. Anyone who wants to explore on their own, I would also share the link in the chat. I'll quickly take 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, so as the headline goes, like, future proof your careers with AI skills. I think the first job role which got impacted with AI was like customer support, right? You'd see that a lot of applications, and that's what we're going to build today. In fact, the way AI has come in right now, it is here to stay with us, and it's not going anywhere. And it's I think much more prominent that I would say in all the roles we definitely need to know what are the applications of AI so that we can improve productivity, probably build solutions. There could be multiple use cases, right? Yeah, so this is going to be 8-week program wherein you'll be building AI solutions, and yeah, you will lead the next wave of change. If not, then you are already noticing there are like Microsoft laid off 6,000 folks. So yeah, and Google's planning for 30,000 more, right? So this is like definitely no one wants to have their name there. We've already upskilled product professionals and non-tech professionals from 350 plus companies, and they all these folks are coming from prominent names in the industry, so they have had good experience in the program. I'll also in the coming week schedule a session wherein you can connect with them and ask their feedback about the program. So this program is like hardly theory. Everything that we do in the session, we definitely have to cover a little bit of theory so that you understand this entire ecosystem and how to operate within it. But each and every concept is like we are extremely dependent on teaching you with practical hands-on, because if you're doing it, then the retention of the content and the knowledge is like I would say more than the just learning from theory. And so yeah, you'll be learning by building and not just like being passive learner in the class. And yeah, you'll be of course mastering concepts, and you can identify where in your AI roadmap you can integrate AI. And yes, you will also get mentorship from the folks who are building AI products in their own companies, right? So far we have had if you look at a faculty lineup, I think a lot of folks who are assisting the delivery, they are from Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, and I think we have Palash as well. Palash is from gaming industry and he's building cool AI solutions from scratch. And then we have folks from Krutrim, right? So we have the folks, for you who are teaching and who are building AI solutions for the world, right? And I'll deep dive a little bit into course curriculum in a moment. So yeah, you'll get like 30 plus tools exposure. So you can look into this. Yeah, we would have Arun here as well. We'd have Sai Charan, Ketan, and we've added 3 more faculties. There's like formalities going on, so we'll add their names as well. So you can look into the couple of capstone project that our cohort members have built, like Study Buddy. So what it does is like whatever you want to read, it just fetches the right content and gives you the quick summary and then creates quizzes for you, right? It just like make things easy for you. Stock analyzer AI agent, that is something Arun has just talked about, and that was part of our capstone demo day. So you can look into these capstone projects which our cohort members have built, and yeah, a couple of cohort members experience. You can also connect them on probably LinkedIn as well. You can also go to this tab wherein you can look into the I would say more cohort members experience. Yeah, so that's a little bit about what the value propositions of the program is. I'll now quickly go back and explain this module because this is going to be very, very important. All right. So folks, this is an 8-week program wherein we are going to have 6 weeks of learning and 2 weeks of capstone project building, right? In the first 2 weeks, which is about introduction to AI fundamentals and deep diving into LLMs, we are helping you understand how AI has evolved from 1950s to 2025, probably from linear regression to logistic regression, and then to neural network, which was basically the onset of deep learning, and then to neural networks. Neural networks we covered, and then to transformer-led learnings, right? Why we'll be covering that organic progression? Because as a product manager or as a like stakeholder in this new corporate world, if we are part of those discussions wherein we are defining the AI roadmap, we need to understand the capabilities of the AI ecosystem, right? So there could be a lot of scenarios wherein you would not need advanced models to, let's say, solve your use case. For example, if you want to, let's say, build a system which help you predict the stock inventory, right? So for that use case, you definitely don't need to rely on generative AI. You can definitely rely on like time series forecasting or linear regression with, I think, core complex logics and all, right? Because for everything, if you go for generative AI, it'll be very costly, right? So having that level of understanding is very critical before kind of moving further and playing around LLMs or agentic AI or RAG, and all those are technical concepts, right? Once you've got comfortable as an okay, how AI has evolved, what are the critical models on which the foundations are being laid, right? Then we go ahead and deep dive into LLMs, right? So within LLMs, we explain you, okay, how LLMs are able to do the sentence construction, how they're able to kind of, predict the next word. How would you fine tune them for use case? For example, let's say you are a product manager at Netflix, right? And if you want to, let's say, create some kind of a product which is giving a creative output, right? So you might not know that, in LLM fine tuning, there might be a parameter wherein you can fine tune or change the creativity parameters, right? So if you understand how these LLMs work, you can very well fine tune them as per your own use case. Plus, there's also another important aspect in LLMs. If you go to ChatGPT, right, you'll see that if you have a paid version, they would have like 10 plus models, right? So for your specific use case, how would you pick the right model is something which is very, very critical, right? So how to do LLM evaluations also we are covering in depth, right? And once we have covered the, these foundations and how like what all is this AI world is and what LLMs are like, and different type of LLMs as well, like chat based, image based, video based, right? Then we move into advanced prompting, right? By now, I'm very sure that many of you have understand and realize that knowing prompting is important. The trend that we have observed almost 3 months or 2 months back, everyone was quite comfortable and was not probably giving due weightage to prompting, because the way these LLMs are constructing the output, right? It feels like, okay, of course it looks like almost a humanist typing, and that is why we are wowed by it, and that's why we feel, okay, I know prompting, right? But prompting is like a language to talk to these LLMs, and LLMs are like a smart teacher. So if you don't ask the right questions, you would not get the right answers. And plus, your models might hallucinate as well if your prompt is like 1 out of 100 level and all, right? So it's very important that we get better into this. And the agent that we're going to build today, you will see that even the basic prompt that I have created, they would be, I think, decently big, right? Because you have to exactly tell your LLM what to do, otherwise these machines won't understand. At least we have not reached to that level in autonomy spectrum where an AI would start training itself, at least not now. So definitely that human intervention is still required, right? Awesome. So once we've learned advanced prompting, then we cover 5 Ds of building products, right? So we start with discovery, define, design, development, and then distribution, right? So across these 5 Ds, we are going to cover almost 15 plus tools already, right? And like 6 hours of marathon, wherein we're going to help you understand what is the right process of building products, from scratch, right? Even if you don't have anything, and how do you use these tools in the right manner, is something which is very, very critical. Once we build product, then we go and start learning about agentic AI and MCPs, right? Within agentic AI, of course, we cover all the foundation knowledge which is kind of required for you to get started, and then we will be helping you build in class 5 to 6 agents so that you're quite comfortable. And these agents are going to be so in today's session, we're going to create just like a single agent, right? But if you want to solve a industry level or I would say use case which you can integrate into your product roadmap or marketing roadmap, in those specific cases you would require to create multi-agentic workflow, right? And our course is like something which is going to help you. How do you create that multi-agentic workflow? How do you create low code agents? Like how do you then create your own MCP server and get started, right? So agentic AI is definitely going to be our very critical focus of this program, right? And after agentic AI, then we're going to cover ethical consideration and responsible AI. As I've said, we can't ask, like, if a user is like, say, too frustrated, right? And they are going to ChatGPT and saying that, hey, can you tell me which story I should jump off so that I'll die, right? That type of questions, these models are not should not revert, right? Because see, in case of finance or specific industry which are very well regulated, you might not have, let's say, permission to use ChatGPT. You might have to work on the base models, right? So if you're training the base models, then definitely you have to train them responsibly as well. And if you definitely don't want them to share, let's say, hey, can you give me the API credential of this interaction, right? If your model is able to, of course they would have that information, but if they share it, then your security and everything would get compromised. So how do you handle these edge cases is something our instructors would be teaching you end to end. The good thing is, like, we have Arun is I think working in GitHub Copilot team, and he's been building cool AI solutions and have been helping in product space ensure that our curriculum is industry relevant. So you'd see that every month we are updating our curriculum. I think earlier it was agentic AI only. Now we've added MCPs as well. And once we've learned this everything, then we will be also covering like AI product matrices. Like once you are kind of building your own products, how would you measure the success of it? How would you optimize the variable cost, fixed cost on different parameters like economics? Basically, we're trying to cover economics of AI products. And once you've learned everything, then we're going to spend like 2 weeks in building a capstone project. This is going to be an industry relevant problem statement that you're going to solve on. And once you build this, then you're also going to present this your projects to the demo day, wherein we'll be inviting AI industry leaders from the market, and you would get an opportunity to present your projects in front of them, right? And once your cohort is over, your learnings doesn't stop. I think every month we keep on inviting like 1 to 2 industry AI product leaders or AI leaders, AI founders, who keep on sharing these new knowledges which are coming in. Because at the pace at which the developments are kind of going on, we of course can't wait for everything to settle down, because by the time things will settle down, I don't think that is going to happen. There might be a lot of things to learn, and it'll be a pretty long backlog, right? If we start, then I would say catching up with the new things would not be that difficult, right? So this is about the program. I'm happy to answer any specific queries. I think our program is starting from 28th of June, and anyone who has queries about the program, you can probably type in the chat. I'm sharing the exclusive 20% discount for next 2 seats, whoever just want to grab on. If you go and directly apply from the website, you would not get directly into the program, because we have a wait list going on, and almost 100 plus folks are in the wait list, and we have only 30 seats in the program, right? So overall we have 2 or 3 seats left. For the next 2 seats, I think 3 seats, 3 seats is it. We're offering that 20% discount. Anyone who's interested, you can jump in, and then I'll take questions for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start building our agent. Anyone has any questions? Okay, Shruti is asking a question. For this AI program, if we are unable to complete the commitments in a given week due to personal, yes, we will be helping that. And in fact, one thing I kind of missed, in this entire program, we'll be also getting one-to-one mentor assistance at any point, or at any stage in this project. If you're facing any issues, in terms of setting up your agent, setting up your product workflows, right? We have internal team who would be helping and kind of handholding you, right? Apart from this, if I have to just summarize it, there are 3 outcomes that we are trying to deliver via this program. First, we want everyone, of course, it's more of a non-techie focused program, to learn generative AI in a way that you are able to improve your productivity. Second is like everyone should be a builder, because that's what this AI ecosystem is enabling. We are ensuring that you're just not at a surface level, you're not just crawling, you're at least able to walk in generative AI. And when these talks are happening, you're not, let's say, looking in the corner, you have a lot of context into what's happening, right? And then third outcome is like you'll be able to build your AI portfolio. So whenever you want to leverage it to, let's say, the context for like AI projects within your current company, or you want to go in the next companies for AI marketing, AI growth, AI product roles, right? You would at least have your working products to showcase to the recruiters, right? The other aspect could be, let's say, we largely think that, okay, we'll just simply put things on your resume, but folks, resumes are more of a passive advocator, right? And if you can literally show things in action, it creates a lot of difference, right? Awesome. I think that's it about it. I would not take much time about the program, but I felt like it was very important for all of you to know. Awesome. Now we'll move to building agents. Other tabs. Okay, looks like we're good to start, and this workflow is like fresh workflow. Okay. Yeah, folks, here we go. So, okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah. So here we go. So before starting any workflow, you need to have a trigger, right? So in this case, let's first have a chat trigger, right? So we'll have a chat trigger. We don't have to do anything else, right? And then we add an agent here. Agent is something which will act as like customer support assistant, right? And then we have to add a LLM, as in we can go ahead with OpenAI. I have, I think, a paid account, so I'll go ahead with OpenAI. You can, I think I've heard you can cross check like Gemini 2.5 Pro. I think they're free. You can probably consume their API keys for free. So if you don't have an account, so what you have to do is like go, click on this create new credential, go to OpenAI, admin settings, and you can find the API keys from there. Copy paste from here and then paste it here, right? Copy like from there and paste it here, and then just click on save. And if you see the green signal, your account is connected. Here you can see that you can select multiple models of GPT, right? Because we're just simply going to do a basic reasoning and all. So I think Forum Mini works best for that. If I would have known more about LLMs, right, I would have tried to customize more of my agent. But since that is, we would not be doing that, right? We're just creating a basic flow. So we'll leave it the way it is right now. Okay. And yeah, looks like our basic flow is ready. We don't have to do anything else right now because I would want this session to go step by step, right? So now, quick thumbs up, whoever is doing. Have you faced any issues, probably reaching this stage? I'll take step by step, so I won't rush it. No queries, right? So far, okay, good. Can't find the AI agent. No, everything is. So for AI agent, what you have to do is like you have to click here on the plus node, and then you can search for AI probably agent, and it comes like this. Probably, yeah, simple, yeah. And then you can connect the nodes, right? Now let's try this. Can you tell me more about running offers? Yeah, it's working, right? It's taking my chat input, from here, and then taking it to GPT, and then responding back, right? Let's look at this response. I'll just move it here. Okay. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, there's so many information, like a lot of these messages that I could see on my screen would be totally irrelevant to me because I'm not sure. I've not given it any context. Hey, ideally we are moving in the direction of making it a Myntra chatbot, right? So it's not giving me now. Let me ask this like, okay, my number is my number is 50. Okay, I'm just letting it know like what my number is. Now let me ask it, what is my number? Oh, so if like closely hear what I'm about to say, that see, I've just told this entire interaction ecosystem that my number is 50, right? In the very next chat, I've asked this ecosystem, what is my number? It couldn't retain that information. Why it couldn't retain that information? Because this entire workflow didn't had the memory, right? So we're going to add a memory. Memory is like which kind of saves the previous conversation, so that for I would say a specific chat ID, your model knows what are the previous conversations have happened, and if it wants to refer to it, it can do it, right? In this specific flow, we can add like two type of memories, short term and long term, right? So if you're working on enterprise level data and all, you can add any of the DBs that you are like operating on. And in this case, we're simply going to add a simple memory, right? You can also see that it is carrying the context of this session ID, right? So anything which is happening in this session ID, it is trying to carry the context of this, and it is trying to remember the previous 5 conversation, right? Now I'll just set the context window of 1, right? Now let's try this again. Okay, my number is 100. And let's say that, okay, what is my number? What is my number? Yeah, it was able to, because I've given a memory as 1, right? So it could, okay, why it is not working? Yeah, now it could retain the previous message, right? The one message, right? So ideally in your, like if you're working on I would say as a product leader or a product manager of any support specific feature, right? You can then look into, okay, what is the average messages or the count of messages exchanged before a session is closed, right? Accordingly, you can define your window length, context window length, right? So we might have long conversations with our bots that we're creating. So we'll simply go ahead and keep it as a 5 default simple memory, right? So guys, I'm just going to take a quick pause if anyone has any queries till this moment. Error in subnode, how to set up node. Okay, what is the error, Anish, that you're facing? Because see, whenever you're going to your memory, right? So just check for one thing. You might face error for only one reason in this, because there's no other parameters which might impact. You have to give input to your the specific node, right? And you can give input by two ways. Like either you can define the parameters, like this specific memory has to retain the context of what parameter, right? So you can simply drag and drop, like what chat ID here. Where is chat ID? I can quickly look into. Yeah, I can drag and drop ID from here. Okay, it's not picking up. I can. 1 second. Okay, this is not coming. 1 second. Output, input. And I can run the first one. 1 second. Yeah, it's not giving the input values. Input and output. I'll quickly look into this. What is my number? And then output. For 1 second, folks. Let me run this flow once again. Okay, so in this case, what we can do is like this is the session ID we get, right? So you get session ID whenever your session is running, right? So we didn't have that input, that's why we're not getting this value here. So whenever you want to define manually, I can also drag and drop this here, right? So it will now treat action as the key parameter, using which, as long as you have kind of unique action message, right? It will retain all the context and the memory of that specific kind of conversation, right? But since this is not the right parameter, I'm going to drag and drop session ID, right? If you don't want to do this, you can simply select the default option, which is like connected chat trigger node, right? Since this entire workflow is taking the message from a trigger node, so it by default have taken that session ID, right? It's not allowing me to customize because of the this option that we have selected here, right? Cool. So we're good till this point, and if we run it now, it should work. Work. 1 second. Let me say hi to this. Okay, this happens. So what we have to do in this case, refresh. It gets lost, like what to do. So you just have to kind of wake it up. Now let me say hi. Yeah, it's working fine. Yeah, everything good. So whenever it doesn't work, like you just ensure to save it, right? Otherwise you'll lose the entire flow, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is okay, I am going to, let's say, have a conversation about it, right? Okay, now let me give a quick understanding of what probably AI agent is, right? Let's say you've joined a company called Flipkart, for let's say Myntra you've joined, right? And your role is not defined, right? Literally anyone can come and ask you anything, and there are good possibility that you might not have the context of all the roles, right? That is where there's a parameter called system message, which helps GPT know, okay, what is the role in which this agent has to perform, right? This is an agent, like it's more of a person who's reporting to you, right? So you have to define the roles and responsibilities of that agent. So how do you do it? Is like there's an option of system message. So what we're going to do is, like, I have already the prompt saved for kind of the system message. I'm going to go and paste it here. I've added this, and I'll go to expression. I'll extend this. Right now, the default system message, like, you're a helpful assistant. I'll just go ahead and make this, right? I'll quickly explain it. Okay, you're a highly capable, friendly, and articulate chatbot designed to assist users with order status and promotional queries. Your role, so I've defined the role: answer users' questions properly, clearly, accurately, succinctly, help users navigate. So this is like let's say e-commerce queries, placeholder e-commerce queries and promotional queries, right? Yeah, I'll send all these prompts along with your way, along your way. So yeah, you can also look at. I have also defined, okay, how your tone should be, because you are acting as a customer support agent, right? You can't be rude, because it might hamper the entire user experience, right? Your tone should be friendly, conversational, and helpful, but not overly casual, right? So yeah, so these all the kind of detailed system message that I've created. Escalation logic: if a query cannot be resolved within 1 to 2 messages, please politely suggest next step, human agent support link or contact form. So let's try this out. Okay, so I'm not happy with my order experience. Okay, one thing I have not explained to you, which is like, yeah, so all the input that you're giving in the chat, right? it is then being taken as a input in your chat GPT, right? So system message is more about defining the roles and responsibilities within which your system has to act on. But your system also needs to know what user query is, right? So that user query is being passed in the form of user message, right? So it's by default selected because we've just gone ahead with the basic flow of chat trigger nodes. So you didn't have to do a lot of kind of iterations, right? All right, so just this was a little critical too. Okay, let's have this conversation and let me quickly check what is my context window length. 5. Good. Okay. Yeah, over promise. So let me write it as like over promise. Yeah, so see, look at like, I understand how disappointing it can be when expectations aren't met, right? So it's trying to understand the situation, keeping the tone calm and accordingly probably reverting, right? And let me say that I'm still not happy. Since I've asked it to like retain 5 conversations, so it is going to always act on within those 5 conversations. And on the right side, you can see the kind of order in which your information and the workflow is kind of getting triggered, right? I'm still very unhappy since I couldn't get the order on time. All right, let's see. It says, yeah, this can be very frustrating. We can tape. So basically, it is explaining, right? Here's how I can assist you better, right? I want to assist with like compensation, right? So let's see how does it handle this. Yeah, so it's basically, right now giving random information because we have not defined the process. And this is, but look at the way the messages are being constructed, right? They are, properly to the point and then redirecting the users to do that specific step. Probably if you'll ask it in GPT, it might not be that well trained unless your prompt is like too big, right? So this is how it is kind of work on. But now there's one challenge with this. I'll tell you what the challenge is. Challenge is, can you tell me about Uber running offers? And let me start this a fresh session ID. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that, okay, it has given about Uber as well, right? And it has about, can you tell me more about like, I would ask like Mintra, right? So it is not having a boundary wherein it should not talk about any other service provider in the market. Like it should only talk about the queries which it is assigned to act upon, right? So in the next step, I'm going to help you as in how do you put those boundaries, like how do you scope out the roles and responsibilities, right? Before that, I'm going to take a quick pause. If anyone has any queries so far, any queries from anyone? I'll quickly lower your hand. I guess you've lowered your hand in a way that you're building this along with me. Okay, so individual queries, like I'm not sure we'll be able to handle like at a code level right now, but should we give the chat ID by my own? No, don't give chat ID by my own, because see, if you go for too many customizations when you don't know how each and everything works, it might be a little difficult if you hit an error. If everything is, if happy flow is fine, right? But let the system work for you, right? If you have questions, you can ask me. I'm taking a quick pause. If anyone has any questions, I'm quickly grabbing water again. But any questions from anyone, please type in the chat. Let's take 20 seconds pause. Okay, how do I connect my current database to authenticate? Okay, will not be. I'll be definitely helping you understand how do you connect your current database, but authentication is, we can also set it up like there's like you have to create multiple nodes to execute that workflow, but it is definitely very much possible. Okay, getting error while connecting Google's Gemini chat model. Just see that you've added the correct API credentials, because that's what it kind of asks for, right? Okay, can you explain the DB connection once again? Okay. So what, Anirudh, what specifically in the DB connection you want to ask? Like what I've simply done is like I've just set this like memory up, right? So what I could do is like since I want See, let's say if you want to create a chatbot which retains the context of, let's say, previous 100 conversations, right? Plus it is also self-training itself based on how your AI agent has helped previous customer queries, right? In that case, you might want to store all the conversation which has happened and might want to save it in a separate DB, right? So you can also do all those things if you want to create a kind of self-learning chatbot, but we are not going into too technical because it'll involve probably multi-agentic workflow or connecting with a specific DB. And in this session, I'm not sure everyone is like quite comfortable doing that up. Kindly summarize what we have covered. Okay, I'll quickly summarize what we have covered till now. Okay, so we have created a basic chat flow, right? This is like equipped to take the chat as an input and then process it and act as a customer support assistant and then give a a response. What challenge we are facing in this bot right now? It is not like having its boundaries defined. It is giving me information about Ubers as well. It is giving me information about Myntra as well, or almost anything else in the world, right? So what next step we're going to do is like we're going to set the boundaries of this agent, right? Hey, don't give a general gyan, right? Give a gyan only about the kind of information that you're trained on or you are supposed to act, right? You should not talk about anything and everything which is not with respect to, let's say, Myntra or any specific company you're building it for, right? Okay, let's move to that stage, right? Hope that helps, Naman. So I'll go and take my revised prompt from here. It was already copied. I'll probably go here and I'll update this. I'll expand this and okay. Now I'll see that. Okay, now you are Mia. I've changed the role, right? This chatbot is something which like Mia, official customer support chatbot for Myntra. And I've also defined what Myntra is, like India's leading fashion lifestyle destination, offering a wide range of clothing, footwear, accessories, and beauty products from top domestic and international brands. Your role, I've defined the roles, right? Help in these information, right? And then yeah, here's something where I've defined the scope. Only respond to queries related to Myntra. If a user asks about other companies' brands not on Myntra, unrelated topics, politely respond that you can only assist with Myntra specific information, right? So I've set the boundaries, right? See, so there are two ways to set the boundaries. One is like you can define in the system message, right? But that is not the best way when you are deploying your product in the market for end users, right? The reason it is not the best way is like your model might hallucinate. It might have so much information to act upon. It might miss on those specific contexts and would still give information which is not relevant, right? So there are different filtering nodes you have to kind of add before sending that information to your agent. So all those things, how do you handle and all, would comes under taking care of edge cases, right? So again, we're not taking that, but I'm just letting you know that just defining everything in system message also might not be the right thing, because see, your system message is also kind of long line of text, right? So if you make it too long, right, every time you're interacting, the amount of tokens you would consume would be too much, right? So you would end up, I would say, losing a lot of money just if you're giving just quite lengthy system messages, right? So you have to be cautious, but this is more from a, I would say, getting hands-on perspective, but I'm also helping you understand, like when you're actually build it for your companies, like where the differentiation might come in, right? Okay, tone and personality we've also already talked about, right? All these escalation policy, if the issue is complex, involves sensitive information, or the user is not satisfied, you can like don't respond to that, right? Okay, instead of now me acting on it, right, I would want you guys to give me the query in the chat and then I'll ask it. Just wait for it. Yeah, please write your queries in the chat. Yeah, all the things, Sanandya. That's the magic, like that's how do you go about defining it? It's not like probably one step thing. There's proper learnings behind how do you define, how do you write your prompts, right? Wherein a lot of things about basic prompting and advanced prompting we cover in depth in the code. For this specific bot building purpose, since we want all of you to build it and get comfortable, we'll be sharing, whoever is sharing the feedback on LinkedIn about today's session, we will be DMing them on LinkedIn as an this entire JSON workflow, wherein you can just download this and upload in Anytone and everything will be up and running. I'll tell you how to do that as well, and also this prompting guide that I've created for the system message. Awesome. All right, so looks like anyone, guys, I'm expecting a query from you that you would want me to ask this bot. You can ask literally anything to this right now, and let's see how this bot behaves. Prompt to Anirudh, sure, we'll share that. I'm waiting for you to respond. It would be really great if you probably share something. Pragya has given. Let's see. I don't know how would it respond. Okay, Murphy is asking, what is my number? Okay, Pragya, let me ask Pragya's question. How does it respond? I don't know. Let's see. Trying to confuse it. I'm here to assist you specifically with Myntra related queries. Of course, it's probably not in the scope of acting or this chatbot helping you with competitor research and strategic insights. So yeah, awesome. Why is my order not picked first exchange? Let me say that. There could be several reasons why I haven't been picked, right? To resolve this issue, please check your main account's order status or reach out to your support team, our support team, for more specific assistance. Yes, please connect. Yeah. Of course, it's a basic version. It might not do a lot many things that you would expect, but this is good to get started at least, right? Okay, someone, please hold on for a moment. Awesome. Yeah, it's doing it, right? It's just half trained type of, but still doing the job. All right. Okay, I think looks like 5 message context window is gone. So now it's treating my next message as a fresh message. Cool. I'll take my order was delivery agent mark the status as delivered. I have not given the order. Okay, I have not got the order. Okay, now let's ask this. Oh, I forgot. Okay, it doesn't have any memory. Okay, that's why I was not. Sorry. Just to explain it to you, I think I have removed the memory. There was no memory to it. Okay. Once again. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that your order hasn't arrived yet. Let's try to resolve this. Here are the steps you can take. So it's check with neighbor's family, track the order, contact support, right? So yeah, it's just at least giving you the direction what to do. If you would have integrated it with like your ticketing system, it'll go ahead and create your ticket in your respective ticket management system, right? So now let's do one thing, right? The final step, I think there are a lot of steps like wherein you could also connect it with your Telegram account and all, but that'll something will take a lot of time. We have to wrap it up by 1. So what I'll do is now I'll just connect it with the information that I already have, right? And I have this information. I have the information about like order ID, status, like which reason the order is from, estimated delivery time, and common issues, right? So and I also have payment offers data, right? It's like 1,000 or what? It's like 50 data points only, but that's okay. I thought I had 1,000. Better training, it's good, but here's payment offers. Like I have only 50 offers running right now. So what I'll do now is I'll connect it with my node. Okay, so I'll go here. Okay, so this is about adding a RAG context layer, kind of integrating it with your own database, right? For more information. Okay, cool. So now what I'll do is like I'll have to connect it with Google Sheets. So I'll quickly select Google Sheet, as a tool here. And if your account is not connected, so you have to click on create new credential. It'll do a Google kind of OAuth, and that's it. Like just like the way we log in and sign in, right? And you can connect your account with Anadin. And I'll just quickly close it because my account is already set up. And tool description, yeah, I'm not trying to set it up like manually, but it's just like auto set it up, right? And I would want this specific node to look into a specific document that has some data on which my agent has to act on, right? And what my operation is going to, our operation is not going to kind of update the rows or delete the rows or append the rows and all, right? We want to read the data, right? So if you want to read the data, so the query that you would give it to like get rows, right? And here you can select since you've connected your Google account, so I'll quickly select my chatbot, and then I'll select, I have two sheets within this worksheet, right? Workbook. So I'll first select order status. So I'll just name this as order status. Okay. And then I will, that's it. I can do a lot of customizations as well, but I'm not going that deep into this. So yeah, and I'll have to connect one more database, which was about the payment offers, right? So I've just clicked 3 dots here, added, kind of duplicated it, and just connected it with this node. Okay. Why it is doing this? It's connected, and here I'll just probably name it as payment offers. and I'll change the Google Sheet to payment offers. Okay, and now I'll name it like Mia Mintra chatbot. Okay, now I have not tried this case that I'm trying to do, so there could be possible errors, but let's see how do we solve that. Okay, now I'll ask it like, can you tell me my order status? Since you know that, okay, we have this sheet, order ID. Okay, my order ID is like ID 111. I'm just typing random number. Now what you can observe is, okay, it's like, does not match any current order in the system, right? So you can look at, once you've connected your DB into this, right? It is now reading and the data from the specific sheet itself, right? Now, if you're asking, let's say, just closely observe, can you tell me more about, specific offers? So observe one thing in the flow. I'll see when you're asking it about the offers, right? It's not going into the order status node, right? It's going into the payment of kind of offer specific DB only, right? So you have to kind of define that in your system message. Okay, act from here only, right? Now let me ask this. Can you tell me trending products on Myntra? And like, yeah, let's give it a general query. Unable to provide any information. However, you can easily find the latest trends on Myntra by visiting the. So it's still kind of recommending you something, right? So for the information that it is not trained on, we don't want to also kind of give unnecessary suggestion to users, right? That is why we have kind of a revised system message, right? So that I'm going to kind of add again here, and in this message I'm going to explain to you. Okay, so I have added the knowledge base specific information here, like refer sheet 1, refer sheet 2. If you don't mention it as well, it'll just look into the flow, and if the relevant information is there, it'll look into that, right? Okay, I've also defined out of scope handling instruction. If a query cannot be answered using the above sheets, follow these fallback rules, right? First is, if there is queries related to Myntra but not covered in the sheet, right? Respond with, this isn't something I can help you with directly. You have to go to the customer support, right? If the query is unrelated to Myntra, right, then you simply say that I can't help. You go to the respective service provider. So you can also customize these message, and these behavioral rules and all you can define, like how your agent should act and all. And then example behavioral queries could be, okay, where is my order and order number and all, right? So this is my more of an advanced agent now, which could do a couple of things. So what I'll do now is I'll go to this like order status, and I'll ask it, like, I'll copy this order ID, which is ORD 100985, and the order status is like what, out for delivery, and the reason for delay was incorrect address, common issue, right? So okay, let's pick it up from here. It's easy to see this right now. Okay, I'll go ahead and let's start a fresh session. Okay, help me with order status. Alrighty. Let's see what does it do. Yeah, you can see that, right? It looked only into the specific nodes in the flow it is acting on. It is showcasing or showing you the green signal, right? So order status is like refunded, region is this, right? So this is the information we can go and check here, right? Yeah, refunded Surat 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. So yeah, looks like this is our chatbot agent, and folks, that's what I had for you today. I can also help you connect it with Telegram, but looks like it's already 2 hours you guys have spent with us. Would not extend it further. Probably we would have it in another session. I've also probably recorded a video on this. You might make it live soon, so you can also see. In fact, instead of Telegram, if you guys would want to try it out, if you guys would want to have this detailed Anytin flow, I can download the JSON and share it with all of you. All right. thank you, folks. Have a nice weekend, and thanks for joining and learning with us. I'll still wait for like 2 more minutes if anyone has any queries. It just shows claimed and it free. Yeah, just try to look for the right API keys and then try to consume it. Thanks, Vipin. All right, looks like that was it. Will we get the recording? I missed some of it. I have to check with the admin. Most likely you guys should be getting the recording. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for spending your Sunday morning to noon with us, and hope you had a decent exposure of in terms of what's happening in the AI and a lot of learning in terms of building agents. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.